I believe we are back up. Should be up on all platforms. Let's make absolutely certain before we get going. Here we are, morning news coverage. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thumbs up on YouTube, please. Drop the link for those in D Live. Okay. Here we go. Beautiful. All right, well, let's get cooking. Let's see what the morning has for us in the way of news. I don't know if I have anything tagged since I left you last night, but let's see. Oh, yes, some fun ones. Some You Can't Park There videos. I love those. My favorite. When people that have crashed their car that they can't park there. It's hilarious. The best. All right. Come on. Come on. There we go.
Can't park there, mate.
Well, fuck off!
Hey, you can't park there.
Appreciate you, bro.
I don't think you can park there.
I know I can't park there!
Oh.
You can't park there.
You okay?
Hey, you can't park there.
Are you okay?
Hey! Hey, you can't park there! You can't park there!
Hey, you can't park there.
Yeah, I know!
Y'all can't park here.
No!
Y'all cannot park here.
You can't park there!
Hey, you can't park there! You can't park there!
Jolly good fun.
Yeah, you guys can't park here.
No shit, really?
You cannot park there!
Hey, I need some fucking help!
You can't park there!
Why is it like half the people answer with that exact line? It's so funny.
Can't park there, mate.
Hey, pal, any chance of a fucking pushover, please, pal?
Oh, yeah, I think I'm parked right, but that guy sure isn't.
What was that last one? Like, what did he say?
Park there, mate.
Hey, pal, any chance of a fucking pushover, please, pal?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the combination of like a lot of alcohol and a seriously heavy accent. No idea.
Can't park there, mate.
Hey, pal, any chance of a
I'm not.
pushover, please,
For sure, mate.
pal?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Bob. Fantastic. Jolly good way to start the morning. That stuff we covered. That we covered yesterday. All right, let's jump to Miss Steph's pal. Good morning, Steph. You're the best. You're the best. And if you guys can't tell, I couldn't do this without Steph of late. She is like just so awesome. Couldn't be doing this the way I do lately without you, Steph. You were so awesome. And everyone out there owes her a debt of gratitude. All right. First up, VP Vance outlines how the administration is tackling the affordability crisis. Yes, good, because this is like the number one crisis, number one issue right now. If they can't solve this, everything's lost. We will go full-blown socialist in this country. You watch. Or, well, hopefully don't watch because it won't happen.
A major focus on affordability. The Trump administration is working to bring down the cost of living, stressing the importance of pocketbook issues.
It comes as a new survey finds 24% of U.S. households are living paycheck to paycheck. And look at the green line on this chart from Bank of America.
Okay.
It shows inflation is out.
Oh, is it still doing this shit? That was partially why I restarted the computer, so it wouldn't do that anymore. And now here it is. It's still doing that. It's still sometimes freezing when I full screen. Sometimes. Not all the time.
Pacing wage growth for lower and middle class families.
Now Americans who are spending over 95% of their income on necessities are looking for relief. And Vice President J.D. Vance telling Sean Hannity that the White House
obviously most important
looking for relief. And Vice President J.D. Vance telling Sean Hannity that the White House hears them loud and clear.
The most important way to fix this affordability crisis is to make people's wages go up. And that is where the Trump economy, I think, just objectively, obviously I'm very biased, but I think objectively is doing better than any economy in 50 or 60 years. Blue collar wages are going up, working people's wages, middle class wages are going up, and that's how we ultimately chip away at the Biden affordability crisis, is that we make an economy where people can afford to buy the things that they need. The best way to do that is good jobs and good wages, and that's why the president's focus is where it is.
And the administration also floating ways to address the housing crisis and ease hurdles for young people who are interested in buying a home.
What we're doing is
I have no idea why it does that.
Trying to make it easier to build houses, trying to make it easier to build factories and things like that so that people have good jobs. We're also getting all of those illegal aliens out of our country, and you're already seeing it start to pay some dividends. Let me give you a very clear statistical example. Under the Biden administration, the price of a new home literally doubled in 4 years. It went up 100%. Under the Trump administration, housing and rent prices are up about 1 to 2%. That's actually in line with what you would like to see. So again, we inherited a disaster. We're very mindful of the fact that there's a lot of work to do, but I think that we've made great progress.
Definitely right about the fact they got a lot of work to do. Yep. Okay. Come on now. There we are. Let's keep going. Another mob-tied sports betting ring. Busted in New Jersey. Scheme involves Gen Z gamblers. Excuse me. High school and college athletes. Oh, man. I wonder how deep this rabbit hole goes. I mean, you always wonder about it in sports like boxing and whatnot, MMA, where it's, just one-on-one and the entire fight hinges on what one person can, the outcome of the match depends on what one person can do, such as, toss in the match, for example, on purpose in order to rake in funds on the back end from rigged betting. I never really quite imagined that would like be the case for like massive team sports though, like it now seems to be. I guess that's because, maybe it's the modern online betting market that's kind of like opened up the door for a lot of that. Because they bet on the tiniest thing, like, excuse me, whether so-and-so drops, gets knocked to his knees in the second quarter or something, gets so-and-so gets a foul in the third quarter, and they'll do a bet on whether or not that happens. Crazy, like just tiny little in-game events they'll do betting on. That stuff is absolutely stuff that a single lone player can influence. So this may very well spread to like the NFL. I mean, we've already seen NBA. Wasn't there another one the other day? Was it MLB? Forget who else it was, but yeah, MLB pitchers indicted on charge. Yeah, because they're chucking pitches. Because there's another perfect opportunity for it, and especially in a sport like baseball where a lot comes down to chance. That's one of the places where someone can really rig some betting. Crazy stuff. So So let's see this. We got a video here apparently on latest one.
Good afternoon, everyone.
This is like 20 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. We'll just check out a couple minutes or so.
Proud to be joined by the Division of Criminal Justice Director Teresa Hilton and the Colonel of the New Jersey State Police Pat Callahan to announce the arrest of 14 defendants, including a member and associates of the Lucchese organized crime family, who are charged in connection with a
frickin' Lucchese's.
multi-million-dollar
I don't know why it's like all of a sudden working in full screen again. I don't know what the fuck the deal is.
illegal sports betting ring that operated multiple electronic sports books across New Jersey. First, let me also just note at the outset that since June of 2018, licensed casino operators and racetracks regulated by the Division of Gaming Enforcement within our department, as well as the New Jersey Racing Commission, have been able to accept legal sports wagering. It is legal in New Jersey. Together, these two agencies have worked with those licensed operators to ensure the integrity of the sports betting industry in our state. They use state-of-the-art technology to monitor bets, identify suspicious activity, ensure compliance with the laws, and, I'd note, protect those who have challenges with responsible gaming. But organized crime families seem to have a hard time breaking this old habit, so we're going to break it for them. Today, despite the wide availability of legal sports betting, illegal gambling remains among members and associates of organized crime. Today, we allege that this illegal gambling operation, led by Fairfield resident Joseph M. Little Joe Perna.
All right, so this must have been, it sounds like a classic, old school, not an online betting operation. Interesting. A ring that's been cooking for decades, since, well, however long the Lucchese family's been running this side of things. Wow.
Who's a member of the Lucchese crime family, used offshore gambling websites to systematically entice people to place bets as part of a sophisticated gambling operation.
Wait, say that again? Hold on. So it is?
Led by Fairfield resident Joseph M. Little Joe Perna, who's a member of the Lucchese crime family, used offshore gambling websites to systematically entice people to place bets as part of a sophisticated gambling operation.
Oh.
All
So maybe I guess maybe the mob is employing offshore betting sites
in an effort to line Perna's pockets and those of his associates. This operation also included a number of college athletes who operated sports books at the direction of the Perna enterprise.
Wow.
And I'll note that this operation...
The athletes themselves were running the books?
Relied on Gen Z
We're taking bets?
Gamblers.
That's insane.
A network of sub-agents recruited from among Perna's sons' high school and college friends. They effectively recruited younger gamblers or players that they knew would be able to pay up, or those that they could leverage payment from, namely college students and student athletes.
Wow.
This was a lucrative operation, transferring some $2 million in suspected gambling transactions between 2022 and 2024 alone. And it was a multi-generational family operation. This was truly a family affair. Perna is charged, along with his sons, his stepson, nephews, and others, with racketeering.
Interesting. Perna. New Jersey. Where's the other Perna family from? Gary Perna. Where are they from? Matthew Perna, the J6er that sadly, unfortunately, committed suicide. I forget where they're based out of. Might actually be Jersey. I wonder if there's any relation. Here's what an Epstein Files vote in the House could look like. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. Speaker Mike Johnson said Wednesday night that the House of Reps will vote next week on a bill that could compel the Justice Department to release the complete Jeffrey Epstein files. totally pointless exercise. Johnson argued it is completely moot now. We might as well just do it. I mean, they have it 218 signatures. That's fine. We'll do it. Okay. We haven't done the schedule yet, but as soon as possible. We might be able to do it under suspension. I'm not sure, but we haven't figured that out yet, he said. We may see these soon. Indeed. Finally. Gavin Newsom just slapped with a major lawsuit by the DOJ for, illegally gerrymandering +5 California Democrat U.S. House seats on the basis of race. Oh. You mean it isn't just Republicans that gerrymander? You mean they do it too? More than we do?
It wasn't even illicit. They are flat out public.
Of course they do.
Publicizing what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it. They're trying to create seats based on race, and they can't do it. And we're going to hold them accountable just like any other state. I mean, they very publicly said, Sean, what they're trying to do, and it's illegal gerrymandering. They cannot do it. So yeah, we sued them today. We're going to continue suing California until they start complying with the laws of our country. Whether it's, what else, sanctuary cities, the Second Amendment. We're winning in the Supreme Court.
National Guard.
Our ICE, that's exactly right, that the National Guard and ICE can be in California to actually protect the citizens of California. Let's see, what else? Illegal emissions from trucks. And look what Sean
Illegal emissions.
Duffy did today. Look what he found with all the truckers who were given illegal licenses, truck driving licenses.
There you go. That sounds like maybe a bit more of a concern
In California. It's
than illegal emissions.
Constant with that
We
state.
saw what happened in Florida.
Bondi confirms Harmony Dillon is on the ground in California. Ooh, thoroughly investigating UC Berkeley for letting Antifa terrorize the TPUSA event.
They're doing UCLA anti-Semitism.
Very curious about that recent declaration of Antifa, well, certain Antifa groups as foreign terror organizations. I can just about guarantee you that there is some form of communication and coordination going on between those German groups and the prominent ones here in the U.S., mostly out in the West Coast, Pacific Northwest, Rose City, Antifa, and Berkeley, of course, Seattle. Yep. DNC staffers outraged after being told they have to return to working in the office. Aw, them too. Poor babies. The order isn't even immediate. Ken Martin, chair of the DNC, wants people to come back to the workplace, not even now, months ahead of time, February 2026. He's got to ease them into it, because if he doesn't, they'll have like public temper tantrums, and we'll need coloring books and stuffed animals and safe spaces and that stuff. Can't have that. Gotta placate. Gotta make sure that they're not getting upset. Just give them some time to adjust. All right, Eric Swalwell being threatened. Wait, Eric Swalwell on MSNBC threatened Bill Pulte with retribution. Okay, sorry, I was misreading that.
Just went on MSNBC and is now threatening Trump officials. Wow.
No joke.
When we're in the majority, we will have
Golly, I don't know why it's freezing this one, but not the other ones.
subpoena power, and accountability will happen. So Bill Pulte and any other lawless official who is carrying out these political prosecutions on behalf of Donald Trump, they should familiarize themselves with the Judiciary Committee room, because they're going to be spending a lot of time there answering questions. And I sure hope everything they did was above board.
They mean to respond to this if they win the House. Your sense about whether these investigations are valid, from what you know, and worth it in the long run?
Well, I would say this first off with Eric Swalwell. Well, that sounds like obstruction of justice when you are threatening to go after federal investigators for investigating you for a federal crime. So maybe that's another charge that the Justice Department should tack onto his investigation. I also just found this, Laura, this tweet from Eric Swalwell back on March 13, 2019. He said this, and I'll quote you. "If you commit fraud in this country, you will be indicted and justice will be served. Plain and simple. No one is above the law." And he wrote, "Cough, Donald Trump, cough." So
Oopsie.
I would say this.
Maybe you shouldn't have written that, Mr. Swalwell.
Eric Swalwell, if you committed mortgage fraud, you will be indicted and justice will be served.
Just went on
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, duty. We just lost our spot there. Duty. Where were we? There we go. Okay. Trump admin is taking its fight against Antifa International as the State Department moves to label 4 Antifa-linked groups as foreign terror organizations, FTOs. Big deal. Antifa Ost in Germany, the International Revolutionary Front in Italy, Armed Proletarian Justice from Greece, and another one from Greece, Revolutionary Class Self-Defense. Whoa. Wow. 500,000 double dippers and 5,000 dead people found on Snap in 29 states.
And 20 other,
So how are they double dipping?
20 plus others did not, and we're suing. We're in litigation right now. But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people getting benefits 2 times under the same name. 5,000 dead people. 80% of the able-bodied Americans, meaning they can work, they don't have small children at home, they're not taking care of an elderly parent, they can work and they choose not to work, of course, because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer.
Yeah, I mean, why would they?
So this
They're getting paid to do
light, Laura,
nothing.
that has now been shined on what is perhaps one of the most corrupt, dysfunctional programs in American history that we're working now. Very big announcements coming next week on this. We are cracking down. We now have a plan to fix it, and we're really, really excited about doing that for the American people.
So this has been going on for many years. I mean, I think I covered this on the radio.
And 20
Oh,
other,
yeah.
20 plus
This
others
is-
did not, and we're suing. We're in litigation right now.
This
But
is
of the
nothing new.
29 that complied, what we have found is staggering.
All right, there we go. You're looping. Yep, this is definitely nothing new. Be nice to see it put a stop to finally after all these years. World leaders refuse to attend G20 summit. Xi Jinping will not take part in the G20 summit. Why? What happened? Scheduled for November 22nd in Johannesburg, South Africa. Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump suggested he might also skip the summit, saying he has, a lot of problems with South Africa. So that's why, huh? At least in the case of Trump. Vladimir Putin will not attend either. South Africa is a member of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, which has issued an arrest warrant for him over the abduction of Ukrainian children during the full-scale invasion. Huh. You screw South Africa. I mean, I hope the Trump admin continues to push on that. What happened there is a disaster. Vince, quick clip on Trump. All right.
I joke with some of the cabinet because the president and I can't travel together. That's one of the things. Right? We're never on the same airplane. Right. And they're always like, "You're very lucky." You like that? Yeah, well, they're always saying, "You're so lucky because if we go on 20-hour trips."
They all get kept up by Trump because he wants to talk for 20 freaking hours straight.
Somewhere, he doesn't sleep the entire time. And of course, if he's not sleeping, if he's working, he expects everybody else to be working too. So again, the energy that the guy has really is off the charts. But again,
sorry, freaking thing freezing.
And you've got to have that level of energy to do this job successfully. I joke with some of the cabinet because the president and I can't travel together. That's one of the things.
Yeah. Excuse me. Everyone says that about him. Non-stop. Guy's a steamroller. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the perfect definition of a Democrat. Some kind of meme of sorts. Let's see.
Introducing the Democrat, the self-proclaimed defender of democracy, reminding you every election year that this is the most important vote of our lifetime. Every lifetime. His laptop proudly wears a "Vote Blue no matter who" sticker next to "Coexist," though he hasn't coexisted peacefully with a Republican relative since 2016. His news diet? Late-night monologues and carefully curated outrage. He's pro-science, but doesn't know the definition of an adult female human being. He preaches tolerance, as long as everyone agrees with him. Disagree? You're not wrong, you're evil. His idea of activism is changing a profile picture and posting, "We must do better," before heading to brunch. He says he fights for the working class, though his last interaction with one was tipping 12% at a vegan cafe. Ah yes, the Democrat. Forever marching for progress, as long as it fits neatly between happy hour and a fresh latte.
These people. Dime a dozen up here. Every freaking coffee shop you go into, you'll see at least 5 of these laptops. Like, literally. Sometimes you'll see a turbocharged one. Literally, like, you can't even see the Apple sticker anymore because the person's completely covered in idiot stickers. Billboards tell you how stupid they are. It's fantastic. Activist Reverend Jesse Jackson hospitalized. Ooh, stable amid a rare brain disorder diagnosis. What the frick?
And used to ask for prayers.
He's getting up there, and he's looking kind of old.
And well wishes following that recent diagnosis of a rare brain disorder.
Tough times never last, but tough people do. And with God on your side, you're a majority.
Stepping away from her father's bedside for just a moment as Reverend Jesse Jackson spends a second straight night in Northwestern Hospital with complications of progressive supranuclear palsy.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
Or PSP.
I don't know what any of that shit means, but it sounds really bad.
A neurodegenerative disease.
This is not a tragic moment, it's a triumphant moment. As my mother said, we both started at less than zero, and now he is a hero to so many.
In recent years, the civil rights icon has been in a wheelchair and making limited public comments.
Oh boy. Is it lunchtime yet?
As it was first believed he was living with Parkinson's disease. That was until he...
It doesn't look all there, man. Looks like it's, I don't know, that skull's been vacated.
Was diagnosed in April with PSP, which affects body movements, balance, and eye function. Jesse Jackson Jr. addressing his father's condition on his radio show today.
Dad has lived a number of years past the life expectancy associated with this particular illness and has put up and continues to put up a valiant struggle against this particular form of unique Parkinson's for which there is no cure.
Less than 10% of...
That's sad. Oof. Freaking bone fragment. All right. Ryan Morrow. As tough as things may seem in the U.S., take a look at... Let's see exactly what I said yesterday. Absolutely. That's what's headed our way if we don't get this under control. Bad as it is here, boy, oh boy, could it be so much worse. Trump admin don't do their job, it will be. But I think they know that. I think they realize that, and they're hopefully moving to avert that.
As tough as things may seem in the United States, take a look at Europe, because that's what's headed our way if we don't get this under control. And one of the ways you get it under control is by severing the links from within the Antifa or any other terrorist movement from the United States to foreign countries. So the United States cannot designate a group as a domestic terrorist organization as the law stands right now. Through an executive order, the president can describe a group as such, but it's not like you can just ban them. But what you can do is designate foreign terrorist organizations. And so that makes it illegal for groups and people within the United States to provide material support like financing or recruiting members to those four entities in Europe. So it sets the stage for cracking down on a broader network.
Yep. Definitely a big deal. Manhattan prosecutor's office recuses itself from Maureen Comey's lawsuit challenging her firing. Okay. On what grounds? Like, too many people there who knew her? Who knows? Oh, this looked interesting. Yeah, Tucker Carlson dropped this today, an hour ago. Tucker Carlson Network documentary, Who is Thomas Crooks? Apparently, I only watched like 30 seconds of it right before I jumped on, but it looks like it contains some previously unseen videos of Thomas Crooks pulled from, was it like his Google Drive or something? Here. They play a bunch at the start, so.
These are videos the FBI has worked hard to make sure you haven't seen. They're from the Google Drive account of Thomas Crooks, the man who on July 13th, 2024, showed up at the Butler County, Pennsylvania fairgrounds and tried to assassinate the frontrunner, Donald Trump.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
That day, Thomas Crooks came within a quarter inch of destroying this country. And yet, a year and a half later, we still know almost nothing about him or why he did it.
Yep.
That's because, for some reason, the FBI, even the current FBI, doesn't want us to know.
What's up?
Since the start of their investigation, the FBI has claimed that Thomas Crooks acted alone and that he was a virtual ghost online with no presence at all. Their only substantive claim about Crooks' motive was that he was a right-winger. We learned that from FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate, who said this to Congress just 1 month after the attempted assassination.
Something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019-2020 timeframe. There were over 700 comments posted from this account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature.
The social media account Abate was describing was Crooks' YouTube comments. When the FBI made that claim, we had to take his word for it. We have no way to check, but now we do.
Oh?
In September, we obtained hundreds of comments from Thomas Crooks' YouTube account. Since then, we've gone to great lengths to verify.
Wow, he must have had someone inside Google feeding him this. That's quite a source to have.
That they're real. We can now confidently say they are. These are genuine, written by Thomas Crooks. But although Crooks' comments are interesting and give tremendous insight into why he did it, they're not the only story. The other story, in fact, the far more significant story, involves the government, the DOJ and the FBI.
Yeah, exactly.
which have hidden from the public what they know about Thomas Crooks.
Yep.
The purpose of this report is to reveal details of Crooks' social media accounts and to confront a series of key questions. Why is the FBI keeping Crooks' views a secret?
Indeed.
Why are they ignoring congressional subpoenas to
And what other views does he have that they didn't tell us about?
Divulge information? Why are they pretending that there's nothing to see here? And more than anything, what are they hiding?
This is shaping up to be an interesting one. Let me skip through. Let's skip through here. I want to see some of these comments. Trump won in an upset victory in 2016 and could do the same again. Either way, I believe the outcome will be irrelevant. How to make napalm. You apparently search for that. Come on, give me some more messages. Or these freaking YouTube posts.
2020, quote, they won't be in there for long because unlike the Dems, we have guns and lots of them. In one comment, Crooks noted that, quote, 50 million Americans with AR-15s will make quick work of any blockades the government can put in to protect the White House. He left multiple references to Mao Zedong's famous line, the only real political power
misspelled Mao, bizarrely,
comes from the barrel of a gun. On September 30th, 2019, Crooks responded to comments about a potential civil war, saying this, most rioters don't bring assault rifles and body armor like we would, and we wouldn't be going to the streets, we'd be going to Washington. At this point, one user named HyperPandas responded saying, quote, law enforcement will thank you for grouping up and being so visible. It'll make your arrest so much simpler. Crooks responded saying, cops can't arrest me if they're all dead.
Whoa.
Before adding, even an untrained man with an AR-15 is dangerous. You think Adam Lanza or any school shooter trained? Nope. If you navigate to that YouTube page today, you can still see identical contextual comments and people referring to Thomas Crooks, including one user who wrote this, you were on YouTube threatening to shoot government officials.
Yeah, what the heck? I guarantee you.
I sure hope
people who saw this at the time reported him. Not just to YouTube, but to authorities.
The FBI is monitoring social media for violent nutcases. That exchange is still available on Internet Archive websites.
Wow.
But the FBI didn't see that before the shooting? That's
I don't buy it.
Hard to believe. On various occasions, Crooks openly said things like, Mueller should be hanged along with the rest of the Democrats involved in that witch hunt, and I always believed being patriotic was lining up a bunch of socialist Jews, like the ones who booed Trump, and blasting their useless brains out with an AR. And yet,
good Lord.
In early 2020...
So why shoot Trump?
Crooks seemed to change radically.
Okay. So that was all prior to 2020.
January 23rd of that year, he referred to, quote, Trump's stupidity. He began...
Interesting. Okay, let me read the whole post here. I disagree. I can see many people getting away with what Trump has done. Billionaires, longtime senators, governors, or really anybody related to powerful people or political parties. Sure, being president makes it even easier, but also keep in mind the only reason we may know about this is because of Trump's stupidity. I mean, he is not really good at hiding things, and I am willing to bet this sort of conduct happens quite a bit and nobody finds out.
And to mock the concept of the deep state. He suggests
the deep state is simply made up of anybody who disagrees with the right wing. Conversation. This is like a complete about face. It's bizarre.
Suggested it was a code word used by Trump supporters for, quote, anyone who disagrees with the right wing. Suddenly, he sounded like an MSNBC commentator. In February of 2020, he called out Trump supporters as, quote, too brainwashed to realize how dumb you are. I mean, literally, you guys sound like a cult at times. That same day, he called Trump and his supporters, quote, racist.
So what was he?
It was an amazing transformation. That April...
Yeah, what?
During the peak phase of the coronavirus lockdowns, Crooks wrote, quote, "It seems that you people don't understand that sometimes public safety comes before your personal rights. Are you not willing to quarantine one member of your family to save the rest? If so, you are not a patriot, and you aren't protecting anything." Around this time, the new left-wing...
This was a kid's brain just completely fried, and he... I don't know, like, he went, like, kind of black pilly and somehow bought into the COVID stuff and blamed Trump for all that. And it's just bizarre.
Version of Thomas Crooks became very critical of conservative media. He said at one point, quote, "Going to a Chinese New Year's party in America isn't putting you at risk for coronavirus, because, believe it or not, viruses don't spread through race like Tucker Carlson probably told."
What the? Who has ever said that?
Told you that May, as state officials across the country overhauled
How bizarre.
election systems to promote mail-in voting, Crooks attacked Republican concerns about voter fraud as, quote, "ignorant." 4 months later, in August 2020, his tone had shifted.
This is just so strange.
Even further to the left. He said, quote, "I believe the outcome will be irrelevant." In response to the same video, Thomas Crooks issued what sounds a lot like a digital manifesto. Quote, in my opinion, well, just let Tucker read it. In my opinion, the only way to fight the government is with terrorism-style attacks. Sneak a bomb into an essential building and set it off before anyone sees you. Track down any important people or politicians, military leaders, etc., and try to assassinate them. Any sort of head-to-head fight is suicide, and even ambush or surprise attacks likely aren't going to end well. These remarks were especially notable because they came at the final phase of Crooks's YouTube commenting. At that point, a new character emerged into the conversation, a user named
Willie Tepes, yeah.
Tepes, who started pressuring Crooks to commit violence. For example, quote, "If a gun and a badge is all that is needed, then authority obviously comes from the barrel of the gun. We have more guns than they do. There is no way we can avoid a war at this point, so you better just get used to the idea."
That's interesting.
We have nothing to lose and everything to win. And the alternative, a global police state, is unacceptable.
Wow. Interesting.
Nothing in life is simple, but that is no argument against doing it. So
there's something going on with this person. That's like foreign intel or domestic.
So who is this Willie Tepes? Unfortunately, we don't know. The FBI hasn't made any mention of him in public, although they certainly know he exists. Just days after the shooting, somebody screenshotted Tepes' YouTube account page, despite the fact he had very few followers. To the extent that he can be traced online now, you can find his username being used on a foreign Antifa website.
Oh, no freaking way. That was going to be my other guess. Wow.
Sites link him to the Nordic Resistance Movement, which has been designated a terrorist group by the U.S. State Department. That's all we know.
Wow.
The U.S. State Department. That's all we...
Hold on.
An Antifa website. Those sites link him to the Nordic Resistance Movement, which has been designated a terrorist group by the U.S. State Department. That's all we know.
Wait, what? So that's confusing. So they're Antifa, but they're on NRM? That doesn't make no... Because NRM is, as you can see it a little further down there, the largest neo-Nazi group in Sweden. I don't think you're going to find much crossover between Antifa and like outright open Nazis. That's sorry. And maybe he's just not being quite clear, and Tepes was like posting on an Antifa website, like as a Commoner or something? I don't know. How weird. Very strange.
Alternative, a global police state, is unacceptable. Made any mention of him in public, although they certainly know he exists. Just days after the shooting, somebody screenshotted Tepes's YouTube account page, despite the fact he had very few followers. To the extent that he can be traced online now, you can find his username being used on a foreign
weird
Antifa website. Those sites link him to the Nordic Resistance Movement.
Ah, strange.
Which has been designated a terrorist group by the U.S. State Department. That's all we know. We do know, however, that Crooks's online footprint abruptly ends after his encounter with this mysterious figure, Willie Tepes. Regardless of whoever Willie Tepes is or was and what his motives may have been, who he may have been working for, there is no doubt that Crooks was ripe for recruitment by someone.
Yeah.
From early 2019 to mid-2020, as his political views were evolving, Crooks searched for Trump more than 700 times online.
Yes.
He also searched for Jack Ruby, the man who assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald. He then submitted queries for craziest chemical reactions, cars running over protesters, best places for mass shooting El Paso.
Google some shit like that. What?
Trump Civil War.
Best place for mass shooting.
Orlando shooting reaction. Firing an AR-15 as fast as possible. Fertilizer bomb. How to make napalm. How to make a Molotov cocktail. Mass shooting Canada. Oklahoma bombing. And sniper in Dallas shooting. He also searched for American Nazi Party. German national anthem 1933-1945. Hitler's speeches with subtitles.
He's a Nazi.
Neo-Nazis.
He's a Nazi.
And, quote, why gays need to go. Hate to brag, but we're...
He Googled why gays need to go. I'm sorry. What?
Pretty confident.
Wow. Well, this is fascinating. I'm going to drop the link to this. Already spent too much time on this. I know I got other stuff to jump to, but this is just too interesting. All right, where is my DLive window? Por favor. There we go. All right, next up, new batch of Epstein files expose the Democrats more than Donald Trump. Yeah, they probably do.
So, Democrats have pushed and pushed and pushed for everything to be released. 23,000 additional documents. We have some new info. For example, Jeffrey Epstein claimed he was advising members of the Russian government how to handle and understand then President Donald Trump. Now, that doesn't sound very ally of Donald Trump to me. It sounds like he was attempting to act as a foreign agent to Russia against the United States and do so against Donald Trump. It gets better. In September of 2017, an email from New York Times journalist Landon Thomas tipped Jeffrey Epstein off about a follow-up investigation by a journalist and former New York Police Department detective John Connolly. So the New York Times was tipping off Jeffrey Epstein when he was going to be investigated. That media, that bulwark of the press against power and ultimate accountability. I'm just gonna level with you guys. That's a little suspicious. So, Democrats have pushed and pushed and pushed for everything to be released. 23,000 additional documents. We have some new...
Yep. Oh, pardon me. All right. The Clinton corruption files. Oh, yeah. That's right. I'm supposed to be getting that, right? Show how the Clinton Foundation allegedly collected foreign and domestic donations while obstructing investigations. Oh, like, that whole thing with Laura Silsby and Haiti.
The document shows how Bill and Hillary Clinton's foundation collected donations from foreign and domestic interests seeking influence. The documents, now being dubbed as the Clinton corruption files, make it clear that there was an effort to obstruct legitimate inquiries into the foundation by blocking real investigation by line-level FBI agents and DOJ field prosecutors and keeping them from following the money. Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel hope to make all the documents public by the end of this week. And I know so many people, including you, Chris, I'm sure, will love to comb through these documents. I will say...
Oh, you bet your ass.
Also, Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley is supposed to get his hands on these documents. He has, of course, a lot on his plate with Arctic frost, everything else. But I'm happy to see that they're
Yeah, and the fact that he's like 90.
taking this up, and maybe we even get a hearing or two there, don't you think?
Well, it would be very nice. It's long, long overdue. In Washington, D.C., sometimes these things go on for decades on end before anybody raises an eyebrow. But the Clintons and their nefarious goings-on have been well established for a long, long time, going all the way back to Little Rock and the Rose Law Firm, where they were involved in all kinds of scandals and money-making schemes and madness. And, of course, Bill Clinton got a $500,000 fee for a speech that he gave in Moscow with his Russian Moscow Kremlin friends. And that was all considered to be perfectly normal by the New York Times and CNN. They didn't see anything curious here. Kind of like the Biden family and all of their money flowing in.
It reminds me of, and around the time I worked at Breitbart, and I remember Peter Schweitzer came out with his book, Clinton Cash. I think it was during the 2016 election where, I think, Jimmy, maybe you remember this, there was this story, I think it was the New York Times actually picked it up, and it was about the Ukraine, it had to do with Ukraine and the money that flew from Ukraine to the Clinton Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
If you read his book, it is quite interesting how he follows the
Schweitzer's fantastic.
money, and it seems like every time there's a big donation, all of a sudden Bill Clinton would be getting on a plane and going to some country and making a speech.
And I think we can't forget what happened with Haiti, too. The large investment that the foundation put in Haiti, well, that money ended up going nowhere. Right. We don't know
Cheese deals for cronies and friends and
where it went.
Family.
So I think, when you look at this...
To the cannibals, of course.
To the cannibals. It's a shame because when you look at this, there are, over 1 million foundations in this country that are doing really good work, and it takes one, the Clinton Foundation, to really ruin it for everyone. But I think if you're sitting at home questioning whether you think this is true or not, there's a lot of documented history of kind of the corruption that has followed this famous, very famous couple.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And it's been well established, and the Schweitzer book was sort of the gold standard because he committed journalism there.
Yeah. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon retiring, being succeeded by John Furner. Trump moves controversial nominee Paul Ingrassia to Government Service or General Services Administration post, GSA. Good for him for not firing him. Ingrassia's a smart guy. Said some unfortunate things in what he thought was a private group message, and unfortunately that tumbled out. I don't remember the exact nature of his comments, but it was some like racial jokes or something. Checking if you got mail. I will go to the PO box and I will check. I will definitely do that. Let's see. Trump called Ingrassia on Wednesday to offer him the position. Ingrassia said in an email obtained by, again, Politico. GSA told the news outlet that it looks forward to having Ingrassia's legal talents to advance the GSA mission. So what all did he say? Said Martin Luther King Day should be tossed into the seventh circle of hell. What's the big deal with saying that? In the group chat, the now infamous group chat, he reportedly texted someone back, "I do have a Nazi streak in me from time to time. I will admit it." Clearly, without context, and obviously has a jocular tone to it. He also claimed there was a need to have competent white men in positions of leadership. There is a need for that. What a shocking and terrible thing to say. All right, Sam Altman and Husband. Fun startup to edit baby's genes. Oh, great. Here we go. Full-blown demon mode activated. All right, let's see. Sam Altman and his husband are backing a controversial startup exploring the genetic engineering of babies to eliminate hereditary diseases. Oh, but what then? What comes next? What comes after that? What comes after eliminating hereditary diseases? What else do we eliminate? What else do we change? That all bets are off from there? We start engineering nose size and eye color, hair color. Where are we going with this? You know where that's going. You know where that's going. Creepy. All right. All right, let's see. Up next, Florida teen was found dead on a cruise ship. Yeah, her father says he still has no idea what happened. What does Donna Rotano make of the investigation? All right, let's see. Everyone's a suspect. Ugh.
This young 18-year-old had her whole life before her. She was a straight-A student, apparently planning to join the military, and yet we don't know what happened. What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, Griff, I think we all can feel absolutely horrible for her family. Of course, her father is hurting, and of course, he wants answers. But the practical side of this is the FBI is in the middle of an investigation, something that happened on this cruise ship. This poor girl loses her life, and obviously, everyone at this point is a suspect. So when everyone is a suspect, the FBI has to do their job to look at their leads, look at the evidence, see where it takes them, and it is not unreasonable that at this point they wouldn't be sharing parts of that investigation with her family, because we don't know who was involved in this. So it would be probably very reckless of them to be sharing information in an investigation that is ongoing. So although we feel very sorry for her family, for her father, it's not unreasonable for the FBI to act in this manner.
A lot of attention being paid, Donna, to Anna Kemner's last TikTok post on October 30th, which certainly indicates maybe some heartbreak that she recently endured. She wrote this on TikTok: "You deserve to be happy, but if it ain't with me, then never mind." What do you make of that?
You know, who knows? I mean, that could be a friendship.
So wait, what? How did she die? What happened?
That could be a relationship. That could be some ongoing turmoil with a friend or family member. We just don't know. But clearly, she was expressing some level of hurt there. And did that lead to her taking her own life? Did that lead to, we just don't know. So I think it really calls for a lot of speculation. It's very sad. And of course, those are all things that the FBI will be looking into to determine what happened to this girl.
So, what? Yeah, how did she die? Like, is it possible it was a suicide? No, cause of death has not been revealed. Interesting. I mean, that's the initial conclusion I would jump to based on that extremely limited information. Or, I don't know, that would jump to the conclusion. It'd be my first guess. If she's recently gone through some kind of heartbreak within the past 24 hours, if the man, presumably young man in question, isn't on the cruise ship and can't be a suspect, then that's the only other thing I can think of is she did it herself. Huh. I don't know. Unless maybe the heartbreak is completely unrelated and something else happened. Entirely possible. Under new rules used to expel George Santos, Rep. LaMonica McIver will now be expelled from the House. Right? District Judge Jamil Semper says DOJ can prosecute assault case against MacIver. Very good. Nice, cool. Military pilots and ground crews doing TikTok dances. Why not? Oh, that's sick. That's solid. It's a great song. I approve of the remix. My mom grew up next to Paul Simon, and then like the apartment right next to him, or maybe like on the floor below or something. I forget what it was, but see him in the elevator as a child all the time. It's a great song, fantastic song. And this just, wow, look at this. It's so cool. What the heck? Neato. What a video. That's cool. Powerful storm pummeling millions of people with rain and high winds in California. Yikes. Oh, great. The Pack Fire.
Eastern Sierra Nevada mountains exploded late Thursday night, damaging more than a dozen homes and scorching more than 3,000 acres. It's fueled by high winds from an atmospheric river, and crews grounded all firefighting aircraft overnight. The weather system pushed through Northern California yesterday, flooding roads and downing trees. But scientists say this storm could help the state end its fire season.
It's basically like a river. You know, the gutters, water's just pouring down when it's, getting like over an inch in an hour.
Gary Kelly lives in the Eaton Fire burn scar area. He's been put on notice for a high risk of flash flooding, so he's preparing for the worst. Especially with scenes like this from storms immediately after the fires, which are still fresh on everyone's minds.
Anytime you have the fire that's spread through the hills and then you have rain, a lot of that mud can come down. So that's what I think everyone's worried about.
Now, the rain here has just begun, and it's going to continue all day. And if this storm is as big as it is expected to be, it could be LA's wettest November in 40 years. And authorities have been encouraging people to kind of map out their evacuation plans ahead of the storm so they're ready to go if those floodwaters hit.
Yeah. Fire and water. How fun. Okay. What's his name? Bovino?
By God, gonna dominate. You're the state instruments of hard power.
Border Patrol.
In Chicago, roughly 300 federal agents and officers.
Hey, watch this force right over here.
Securing the perimeter, rappelling and fast roping for Black
Hawk
helicopters, breaching several apartments within the complex. Intelligence showed that violent members of Tren de Aragua were living in the complex in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood.
They're breaking out the black choppers, man. Oh, shit.
Terrorizing residents and taking part in illegal activities.
There's been reports, anyway, of them taking over units in this apartment complex.
TDA has been designated as a terrorist organization under the Trump administration, which is just one.
Oh, I wonder if this is like the infamous, like the apartment complex, the Tren de Aragua apartment complex. Must be.
One reason why Chief Gregory Bovino, who was leading operations on the ground, says these targets were a priority.
They traffic in arms, they traffic in humans, they have little regard for life.
CBP sources say 37 illegal immigrants were arrested in the overnight operation, among them suspected TDA members. It was carried out by several agencies, including the FBI, ATF, Border Patrol, and ICE.
They trained for this operation for several days, and because of that training and those rehearsals that they did, this operation went very smoothly.
Wow.
They went through that structure, which is a very large structure. You can see it's 5 stories. They went through that structure.
I want to see some more footage of them doing the chopper shit.
A lot quicker than I thought, and several apprehensions. It looks like we have a couple of potential targets.
Assistant Chief David Kim says that preparation and planning were key.
One of the tactics that we use is coming in with overwhelming force
and showing the presence that there's just tons of us there.
Probably the way to go with these guys. They're armed to the teeth with like switch enabled like freaking Glocks with the switches installed.
This all comes as
Insane.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says the federal presence isn't making the community safer. Chief Bovino disagrees.
How about you live in the apartment next door to trained Aragua members that are trafficking and prostitution, guns, drugs, and taking advantage of American citizens in a violent way, and then see how much of a Gestapo or a Nazi we are.
Oh, nice. I like him. He's one of the good ones, for sure. Someone who you can tell is doing what they do because they really, really like believe that it needs doing. You know, we need people like that. Ed Martin is another one in a completely different area, but it's good to see that there are at least you know, some people like Tom Homan, another one, people that actually doing this for the right reasons. People who work their ass off around the clock, very little sleep, to make sure that the right thing is being done. The good thing. There are companies who are abusing the H-1B visa program. Okay. Secretary, who is this? Lori Chavez DeRaymer, that's her name.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up Project Firewall. Almost 200 investigations now have been brought forward. And what's important to recognize is that there are companies who are using the H-1 visa program who are abusing the program. What we want to make sure is we're always...
So how does I just don't understand the mixed messaging with this and then Trump the other day in that interview with the bizarre comment about needing to import labor, like ridiculous. Ugh.
Always protecting the American
Make up your minds, damn it.
worker. The president is absolutely correct. And not all things are and or. They can be together. And what we want to make sure is that we're providing the skilled workforce so that Americans have these jobs first and foremost. If that is not the case, and these businesses need to apply for the H-1B visa program, we want to make sure that they're following the law and not abusing and depressing American wages with foreign labor. That is not the goal of the program. We want integrity. I want to work with the Department of Homeland to make sure that they have that. So Project Firewall, it is the first time in history that the Secretary will use all the tools, and I have been able to sign personally some of these investigations. We will clamp down on these companies who are abusing and depressing wages and not protecting the American worker first.
Oh, hey, guys, I just popped up Rumble chat. I had the old chat up from yesterday accidentally. I just popped up Rumble chat here. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, I don't know how accidentally. But, shut up, Pam. Shut up. Okay, yeah, I don't know how old the message is, but I see Cascade, one of our mods in Rumble there, mentioning that one of our hosts, longtime hosts from Canada, Coach Clay Spence, is in dire need of help. He's got a buymeacoffee.com page where you can support him, offer him a little assistance. Would really appreciate if people would help him out. I know he doesn't ask unless it's you know, he's in a rough spot, so please do help him out. I would consider it a personal favor. Let me pop the link over to YouTube too. There we go. And while you're at it, I mean, if you're in a giving mood, you can support yours truly in PSB too. At a donor box. We do obviously have live chats or super chats on YouTube, but they do take a significant cut of that. So donor box is, I'd say, the preferred way to go. Donorbox.org/support-PSB. I'll drop the link out there. Oh, good. We got a little support over the last few days. At least a little something. I know Coach Clay just... Yeah, he's facing eviction. It's not the first time he's been in that spot either. There was another time a couple years ago or so where I was in a better place financially and I was able to help him out. That was during my best year ever. I just making money hand over fist through lens business, and the industry was still booming from COVID era entertainment boom. I was thankfully able to help him back then, but I'm sadly not in that position right now. I wish that I was, 'cause I would love to be able to help him. I hate not being able to when people need it. It's the worst. So if you can, please do help him out. I know he wouldn't ask if it weren't tough. So. All right, let me jump back to it. And I gotta copy that link over too. A second. There's DLive. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. We want this one. All right. Back to it here. Judge Cameron McGowan Curry announced Thursday that she would rule by Thanksgiving whether to disqualify Lindsay Halligan in the Comey and Letitia James cases. Let's see here. Judge asks DOJ lawyer if he thinks documents case was wrongly dismissed in Comey oral arguments. Oh, Chicago has a new public enemy number one, and it's not Kristi Noem, it's Barack Obama. I'll believe that when I see it. Chicagoans are furious as Obama bulldozes historic landmarks, cuts down 1,000 trees, and destroys a 100-year-old garden honoring women. Oh, nice. All to build a $1 billion personal monument to himself in a public park. Peak narcissism. Turbo narcissism. Century-old community garden leveled, 1,000 mature trees chainsawed. Tower height, Obama bragged, it just got 10 feet taller. Now stands 23 stories high. Critics say it looks like a tombstone or a Soviet mega prison. Missile silo or something. I don't even know. Democrats calling it Southside gentrification. That's gentrification. That's gentrification. Chicago architect, and it is gentrification. That's right. The Chicago architect warned the design looks like it was approved poolside in Martha's Vineyard. Probably was, actually. Obama reportedly threatened to take the donor cash to Hawaii, so Chicago handed him prime lakefront land for, am I reading that right? $10? $10? Seriously? Cost ballooned from $300 million to nearly $1 billion, while Valerie Jarrett, now the CEO of the Obama Center, pockets $750,000 a year. That is obscene. And the archives, presidential records, the thing the libraries presumably exist for, not there. Obama's storing all his documents somewhere else. Good golly.
Chicago's got a new public enemy number one, and it's not Kristi Noem. It's Obama.
Oh, well, he's probably just going to say all the stuff I just read out. That's fine. We'll move on. Jeff Bezos' rocket company Blue Origin has just successfully landed its New Glenn rocket booster on a barge in the middle of the ocean 25 years after its founding, becoming only the second company in history to land a rocket booster. That's a big milestone, to be sure. Potential competition for SpaceX is certainly a big deal. Wow. Definitely still impressive, although considerably less so than SpaceX's rockets. Theirs only has like a couple measly little tiny engines, whereas the Super Heavy's got like 33 or something. Fat, just gigantic gleaming metal. Uh-oh. Drone buffering. Oh, cool. Got the blast zone camera. That's pretty sick. Not really a Bezos fan, but space is cool. It looks like they nailed it. Wow. Who's that last, like, boom right at the end there? You see that? Where'd it go? Yeah, look at that. Wonder what the deal with that is. That last, like, explosion. See that? Weird. Leftover built-up gases or something. Speaker Johnson refuses to allow a vote on extending the broken Obamacare subsidies to big insurance in the House. Let's see it here.
I haven't, and there's a lot of reasons why. First of all, the Unaffordable Care Act has failed the American people. It did exactly the opposite of what they all promised as it would do.
Oh, yeah. Almost like it was by design.
The Democrats broke the American healthcare system. The reason your premiums are skyrocketing is because they have terrible policies, and one of them is subsidizing insurance companies. That's what this COVID-era subsidy was all about. Remember, the Democrat Party created this on their own. They're the ones that put the expiration date on it, December 31 of this year, because they knew it was a boondoggle. There was no way they could justify that being permanent policy. So what we have said is, if there was going to be an extension of that, it would need massive reforms. You need some income caps on that. You should not be subsidizing health care for wealthy people, and also you need all sorts of reforms on it. You need high protections on those things and other innovations. So the Republican Party has known this is going to expire at the end of the year, as everyone in Congress has. We were always preparing to work through that in a deliberative fashion through October, November, December. But ironically, the Democrats, because of their shenanigans, took a lot of the time off the clock on that for us to do it. So we're working on it in earnest. It is the Republican Party that will bring down healthcare costs, not the Democrats.
Seattle's new socialist mayor Katie Wilson vows to Trump-proof the city. This She's a fucking wacko, man.
And to all those who opposed my election and are skeptical of my leadership, you know who you are. There are many of you. I'm very aware that there is anxiety and fear in some circles. I say, tough luck, it looks like you're gonna have to deal with me. Joking. I say, this is your city too. I'm a coalition builder. I know that we are in this together, and we cannot tackle the major challenges facing our city unless we do it together. I will be a mayor for everyone. I will listen and I will learn. And although we may not always agree, I am absolutely committed to working together whenever and wherever we can for the good of the city and for all of its residents. And I know, especially in the challenging times that we are in, how important partnerships will be, not just within Seattle, but with King County and throughout Washington State and beyond. I am so looking forward to working in close collaboration with all of our city council members and our new city attorney, with our incoming King County executive, Gurmai Zahalai, with Governor Bob Ferguson and Attorney General Nick Brown, and so many others, as we work to improve the quality of life in our city and state and protect our residents from federal overreach. As a progressive and as a socialist, I believe
Right out in the open.
in good governance. Our government is how we act collectively, how we accomplish the things that can only be done together. I believe that our city should be able to tackle big challenges and take on big, ambitious projects. And I believe it is a very bad thing when people begin to lose faith in the ability of their government to be responsive and effective and to deliver results for its constituents. I look forward to working alongside all of the dedicated public servants who work for the City of Seattle, not just to advance a transformative policy agenda, but to make sure that we are delivering basic services, communicating with constituents, working collaboratively with every single neighborhood around the city, and building that faith and trust in government that is so essential and yet so rare in our times.
Not even going to watch the rest of these, but vowing to Trump-proof the city. Plans to enact high taxes, of course, and free childcare. Free, free, free. Free for you, free for me. Anything else you're going to offer for free? Lord. Yeah, there it is. Free K-8 summer care, universal child care, stable, affordable housing for renters. So, are you just going to rent control? Like, what are you talking? Psychotic. Way to go, Seattle. That'll end well. In an incredible development, Speaker Johnson aggressively pushing to swipe the government shutdown weapon from Schumer's hands by ensuring the troops, air traffic control, TSA, and essential services are funded fully by January. The goal is all 12 appropriations bills.
Anything past Schumer and Jeffries and the Democrats right now, but we're going to try to take that weapon out of their hand. And what I mean by that is over these next several intense days, these next couple of months, we'll be working around the clock to make sure we get more of these appropriations bills through the process. As you know, part of the vote Wednesday night was a minibus, a small package of 3 of those appropriations bills, and we've now gotten off the table. There's 12 of them in total. So we're working right now for the next package of those to push through the process and get this done in the way it's supposed to be done, by regular order. That's how we operate as good stewards of taxpayer funds. And as you know, Maria, it hasn't worked that way in Washington for a long, long time. Yeah. Since I became Speaker 2 years ago, I've been trying to force that like a boulder up a hill. And this is a big innovation. It seems like a small thing to cheer on, but in Washington, having gotten 3 appropriations bills signed into law, 3 individual appropriations bills, is a big achievement. We're going to do more of those, and hopefully we can get all that done by that deadline in January.
Well, you've been talking about this for a long time. What would be an appropriate number of appropriations bills, do you think, that would be done by the end of January? I mean, what's practical?
Well, look, the goal is all 12, and I'm doggedly determined to make that happen. If we fall short and there are 2 or 3 left on the table, then we would do a continuing resolution to finish those, but it wouldn't be anything like the stakes of this long nightmare that we just went through, because remember, all the bills, everything would be funded. Troops and essential services and those kinds of things would already be off the table. So farmers and federal employees, Border Patrol agents, TSA, air traffic control, they wouldn't have to be sitting around stressed out about when their next paycheck's going to come. That would have been taken care of. So there'd be minor details left at the end of the year. That's the goal, Maria, for us to get all that done.
All right. Prevent them from doing this again for at least a little while. Speaker Johnson pushing to revoke the new law that lets GOP senators get $500,000 of taxpayer. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's bullshit. It's silly. I 100% agree. Like, yeah, 100%. I'm so glad that he's acknowledging this. The optics of it are terrible. So if you missed this, they were trying to get this, or I guess they actually did end up passing this thing that allows the GOP senators to sue the DOJ over the Arctic Frost kind of, invasion of their privacy and violation of their rights, which absolutely is a bad thing, and people need to pay for it. But like, effectively, all this is the GOP senators suing the people's money for $500,000 each, and we get to pay for it. And it's just, yeah, the optics are horrendous. It's a stupid move. There are so many other things that people would much rather see them pushing through, working on, voting on, passing. This was a stupid move.
With that addition, it has.
And I'm glad that Johnson is acknowledging that.
Created some division, certainly. Why are you against that addition?
Good for you, Johnson.
Well, the optics of it are terrible. I don't think you should do it retroactively. We all agree that Arctic Frost was a horrific abuse of our judicial system, and it was an overreach, and we've got to bring accountability to those involved in it, and we have to make sure that stuff never happens again. But I think for sitting lawmakers to vote into themselves an ability to go cash in on something like that, to me, it was just a really bad look. And I think many of them regret it. I think some of them are coming out now saying that they will help us to repeal that provision. It should never have been dropped into our clean CR. I fought so hard, Maria, to keep the CR clean, totally nonpartisan. That was the whole point of this. And they dropped it in at the last minute. So look, John Thune, Leader Thune is an extraordinary leader in the Senate. He's a dear friend, trusted leader. I love working with him. And I think some of these things happen in the haste of a last minute filing of a bill, and it just shouldn't have happened. And I think they regret it now. I think we'll fix it.
Well, I think.
Johnson absolutely convinced Republicans will not just hold the House in 2026, but expand the majority. Let's hope so. At this point in the race, I kind of have my doubts about that, but that may very well change after all the redistricting efforts, and that could completely change the field. Let's see.
Yes, look, we're going to be dialing in on it, obviously, as we get closer to the midterms. I'm very bullish. I'm absolutely convinced that we're going to grow the House majority and keep the majority in the Senate, the House, and allow President Trump 4 years and not just 2, because if we lose the majority, they'll try to impeach him and stop everything. We got to articulate that. The thing is, Maria, we've had so many successes, so many categories of things that we've achieved, that there's been a lot to talk about. We need to narrow in, focus in more. It's a great point on affordability. That's a big thing for people, and we've been working on it every day. And by the way, the Working Families Tax Cut, the big beautiful bill that we got signed into law July 4th, the reason we did it so early in the Congress is because we knew all the major provisions of that become effective after January, and people will feel those positive effects. Wages will be rising. You'll have more job opportunity. You're going to have more investment, more jobs. All those things will happen, and people will feel it before they vote in the fall. So we're anxious for all that to take place.
Good. Okay, well, let's hope that is all accurate and that they can indeed pull all that off.
Mr. Speaker, I know that there's a legislative push.
Because they're going to need to, and then some. Things are going to have to Like they better turn things around and fast, economically speaking, for everyday people, or they will be in trouble. We all will be. Hunter Biden accuses Trump and Elon Musk of committing genocide by ending U.S. aid. Genocide? Really? Genocide?
Let me tell you where the genocide is about to occur. It is occurring right now. Directly because of Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Okay, let's hear it, Hunter. Lay it on us.
Donald Trump, under the direction of Elon Musk, ended USAID, a organization, government organization that has been in existence since the late 60s, and have saved. And when I was talking about what the good that the United States could do, it could not be more embodied than in the work that USAID has done over the course of decades. Every single major study that has been done ever since USAID ended, which was back in May, and it's ended, it's gone, okay, is that over 14 million people are going to die because of the end of USAID.
Okay.
And the genocide here is going to be in the...
Did we kill them or no?
Fact that it is not as if 14 million people are going to die in the next 5 years. By the way, 4 million of them are children under the age of 5. And it's not like I'm saying, if we all just got together, if the United States could muster the support of the world, we can come up with the resources and we can figure out how to be able to change these people's lives and give them hope and a chance for existence. That's not
what the fuck, guys. Cooked, man.
I'm talking about. What they did is they went in and they flipped the fucking switch. And because they flipped that switch, 14 million people are going to die. 4 million of them are going to
No, they are not. Get out of here, dude.
be children.
Yeah.
That's a fucking genocide. Excuse my language.
It's okay.
That's that is a genocide.
Well, you want to
Let me
stick your
tell-
nose further up Hunter's bunghole, or little hosty guy? What a shit show. Major win for Maha. PepsiCo unveiling naked Cheetos and Doritos that are, free of artificial dyes and flavors. That's a great move. I was just kind of pondering out loud the other day with a family member about why they don't, like, do they have organic Doritos? Do they have like all natural Doritos? Does Doritos make a product like that? I was literally just wondering this like a couple days ago. It's so funny.
PepsiCo was announcing Simply Naked versions of Doritos and Cheetos. The company's chief marketing officer writing, quote, "We are reinventing our iconic and most famous brands to deliver options with the bold flavors fans know and love, now reimagined without any colors or artificial flavors." PepsiCo was
Good. At least to start, anyway. Get rid of the rest of the unhealthy shit in there, and maybe then we'll be talking. Whoa, interesting. World's largest 4.75 gigawatt hour sodium battery system set for U.S. grid storage. That's an insane amount of energy. How big is this thing? Hard to tell scale there. Wow, fully passive design does not require active cooling. Fascinating. Okay. These systems are slated for deployment across Jupiter Power's projects between 2027 and 2030. Tell me more about this thing. Systems offer nearly 30% better cell degradation performance over a 20-year operational life. That's not bad compared to current lithium ion. Wow. That's cool. This whole thing, the Michigan terror case. Not the one that we're usually focused on, but the more recent one. Men were were indicted for allegedly planning an ISIS-inspired Halloween terrorist attack. Apparently previously had plans to target the 2024 Chicago Pride Parade.
The 3 Michigan men indicted in connection to the alleged ISIS-inspired Halloween terror plot previously had plans to target the 2024 Chicago Pride Parade. The men were allegedly scouting locations in multiple states, posting plans in a Discord chat group called the Islamic State of America. Since Halloween, at least 8 suspects have been detained across 3 separate states. The 3 Michigan men indicted in connection to the alleged ISIS-inspired Halloween
8 suspects detained across 3 separate states. Wow. Some of them quite young, if I remember right. Like, they like 18, 19. Curious about who they were communicating with. All right, U.S. trade rep. We've essentially reached a trade deal with Switzerland. We'll post details of that today. Excited about the deal and what it means for American manufacturing. Oh. What's this? Why, during the bin Laden raid, did one of the helicopters carrying Navy SEALs crash? That famous incident, yeah. Barack Obama wanted to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. By accommodating Obama's vanity, the mission was delayed by a day. Oh, wow. And the weather changed enough to catastrophically alter how much lift the helicopter could get. That's... Jeez.
Why did the helicopter crash? Great question. Okay. So, do you know what was happening in Washington, D.C. the day before the mission that the president would have wanted to be at? I don't remember. A White House Correspondents' Dinner. So, the day we had originally planned to launch our mission was the day before we actually went. Right? It was a weekend, 0 Illume, so good time to go. President got involved. Was like, hey, can you guys push this one day to the right? Can we push to the right? I want to hit my dinner. Okay, so we moved the op to the right. Not me. It was well above my pay grade. The op was moved to the right. The next day, the temperature was roughly 8 degrees warmer than the day prior.
Yep.
You know how temperature affects density.
Yeah, density air. Yeah.
Altitude, how a bullet flies over a mile. It affects how much lift a helicopter can have. So hypothetically, if our, because I'm not speaking in real terms of weights, right? If our helicopter could carry, say, 1,000 pounds, say we were at 800 pounds of load, that's fine. We operate within those margins. Normal. The next day, 8 degrees warmer, temperature, we didn't have the lift.
Yikes.
So what I've been told is we got into the target area. Our pilot was at full throttle, and we settled with power because he didn't have enough ass.
Oh, wow.
To keep the helicopter in the air. So why did we crash? Because the President Obama needed to hit the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh, gosh. China is rolling out hundreds of UB Tech's new Walker S2 humanoid robots, marking the first mass delivery of industrial robots to major manufacturers for continuous factory and logistics work. Dear God. Now just imagine them with assault rifles. Marching towards you from the coastline. They're not being shy about the military aesthetic they're displaying here. This is very ominous. By design, 100% intentional. Even with the salute. Wow. They are obviously teasing military applications. That's disturbing. So initially, they're going to be putting these in factories, doing simple factory floor labor, but it is, just look at the things. It'd be a very simple thing to slap a gun on one of those and go to town. Guarantee you they've already done it. Foreigner with a visa says he dreads visiting America now because he was interrogated by the FBI. He lists the things that he says they asked him about.
So I arrived in Miami, in Trump's America. The first thing that happened is that as soon as I get off the plane and arrive at the airport, I'm greeted by 2 FBI agents. Now I have an O1 visa, which gives me the right to work and live in America.
Oh, yeah.
It's a visa for people of special talent.
The right to work? Really? Is that what we're going to go with?
Still, 2 FBI agents. It is crazy, the sheer amount of xenophobia and fear-mongering that's happening in this country right now towards immigrants, towards people who come from foreign countries.
This one's got to go.
It's no wonder that tourism in America is down 15%.
Put him back on the boat.
This is a big problem. Foreign students applying to American universities are down close to 20%.
Oh, no.
Gosh, and I can't wait for the next election, because what's happening right now is in the U.S.
God, these people, man. All right. Yeah, an O1 visa. Ridiculous. The Democrats are doing everything in their withering power, Trump says here, to push the Epstein hoax again. Despite the DOJ releasing 50,000 pages of documents, it was kind of a joke of a release, let's be real. In order to deflect from all of their bad policies and losses, especially the shutdown embarrassment, where their party is in total disarray and has no idea what to do. Yep. Some weak Republicans have fallen into their clutches because they're soft and foolish. Epstein was a Democrat, and he is the Democrats' problem, not the Republicans' problem. Ask Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, and Larry Summers, about Epstein. They know all about him. Don't waste your time with Trump. I have a country to run. Yeah, we saw that. Okay, retro resistance. Oh, dear. Protesters in neon leotards held an 80s-themed aerobics class outside the ICE detention center in Portland. They're just ratcheting up the absurdity. Oh, my gosh. Crooks, yeah, I checked that out for a little bit. It's really interesting. Look at this. Oh my goodness.
6, 7, now to the grapevine. Good job. Stay here, look up. Then to the routine, you choreographed. Good job. Grapevine, again.
I like how the song's about fire and burning. Great song. Yeah, they like fire and burning. All right. Let me see if we can find anything else here in the last few. Jump over to rapid response here. The Epstein hoax. I guess Trump posted this morning.
Democrats want you to forget all about the shutdown shellacking. So they're launching a smear campaign disguised as a bombshell. The Jeffrey Epstein emails. Congress is dumping thousands of documents, and Democrats are using them to frame Trump. But we've been combing through them and can't find anything.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's like there's nothing. Like even the things that they're crowing about being a big deal are not, like, they're not even close to a big deal. They're if anything, the complete opposite of a big deal.
Trump. Even Axios says the emails contained no real smoking.
Not only that, but like the complete opposite of what they were saying. It implied that Trump was, at least in my reading, implied that Trump was the one informing on Epstein to the feds, like feeding information to them.
Gun.
Not what they were implying, that he's like buddy with Epstein or something. It's ridiculous.
The files do show Epstein's deep ties to liberals.
Yeah.
Like
they show that everywhere.
Trump author Michael Wolff.
Dirtbag.
He colluded with Epstein on how to blackmail Trump. Wolff told Epstein in 2015, if you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency.
Pretty interesting language, Mr. Wolff.
Why is Wolff giving a pedophile PR advice?
Blackmail advice.
And coaching him to take down the president. That wasn't the only writer Epstein colluded with. A New York Times reporter gave Epstein a heads up that a former cop was investigating him for a book. That reporter was pushed out of the company after they found he asked Epstein for a $30,000 donation.
Wow.
Larry Summers, who worked for Bill Clinton and Obama, was also pen pals with Epstein. He was asking him for tips on women. Who goes to Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice?
Wow.
Epstein didn't just have ties to the Democrats and the media.
The whole thing is just so puzzling. I don't understand why, like what they were going for with this. The whole thing just seems like a desperate train wreck. Target dropping prices ahead of the holidays. Well, that's good. Okay.
Target is dropping prices ahead of the holidays. The company announcing reduced costs on 3,000 food, beverage, and essential items starting this month. Target is also bringing back its Thanksgiving meal at its lowest price ever. The deal gives customers a complete dinner.
I don't know that I'd be shopping for my Thanksgiving meal at Target, but
with all your holiday favorites.
It's nice to see prices dropping, I guess.
For less than $5 per person.
It's not encouraging. It can't be that good. President's trade program has been incredibly successful. I think we watched that one. Anything else? No, I don't see anything. Cool. Well, we'll call it there. I think Mr. Poe is in. Oh, and Sonny. I don't know who's going on.
Hey, fam.
What's up?
Hey, Sonny.
Hey, Poe.
Or both of you.
Oh, what, are you taking this slot?
I thought you gave me this slot.
Oh, I don't care.
I don't care either. You can go on if you want. Yeah, actually, that would be best.
No, go ahead. I mean, I got stuff to play.
Oh, I know you do. So do it, Poe. Yeah. Pam's like, one of you.
Yeah, whoever.
I thought you just wanted it for that day. I didn't realize you wanted the slot.
Oh no, you go ahead, Poe. So. I actually have other things I could do. Thank you.
Fair enough. Well, there we go.
Okay. Well, we could do a thumb war or something. You know?
Yeah, there you go. Flip a coin.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm on tonight with Toots anyway, so this will work out good.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah, I got a good Sheila Holmes interview that it gets back in history. That's what I was going to play. So, I mean, I got all kinds of stuff, but this is what I found interesting for today. So, cool. I mean, I don't care either way, though.
Oh, she already backed out, so it's he left.
All me?
Yeah, it's all you, brother. Cool.
Okay, you
have a good show.
Man. Great show. Yep, thanks.
Yeah, we'll do. See y'all. All right, bye YouTube. That's it for me. I got nothing else. I will be back not this evening, but tomorrow afternoon. Oh no, you know what? I might need someone to cover for me tomorrow afternoon. I don't think I'm going to be here. I got an event I gotta go to. So I don't think I will be seeing you guys again until Monday morning. All right. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Behave. And I will see you in the new week. All right. Bye-bye.